Adam and Eve had from the beginning of time was they had God. God was the knowledge of good and evil. This is why they were told never to eat the fruits of the knowledge of good and evil, because God knew if they eat that fruit, instead of them depending on Him, God, they would depend on the earth, because God Himself had made Himself to be the knowledge of good and evil for us. So when we depend on anybody, we depend onto God. But when we eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the tree has a root, and the root of that tree is derived from earth. That means when we eat the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, we will depend on the earth that the tree comes from. And when we depend on that earth, when we are sent to our lowest point shall be onto the dust. And when you understand some more things about that revelation I'm giving you, is deep within the earth and the dust we were made as well. And that tree that bear the fruit of good and evil, it was also derived from it was also brought up by the earth. So if we're made by the earth, and the fruit that we seek answers from was also made from the earth, that means once we ascend to our lowest points, because every being suffers from a test, our test will be to the earth. That means the only test that we will ever suffer from under the domain of earth will be onto earth. But God, when He made Himself the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, He wanted for our test, our only test, to be Himself. And if we are tested with that test, He then would become our right and wrong. That means every single time when we wanted something, we would need to present ourselves to Him. That would be our only test.